Hello and welcome to Trash to Track. Now in this episode I'm going to be looking at this Hornby Dublo Sir Nigel Gresley A4 that belongs to a chap called Jack, who sent it in because he's had numerous problems with it and it's even been back to Hornby for repair. But now it's come to me for an overhaul because Jack said the wheels aren't engaged with the motor and the firebox flicker has burnt itself out. Now I must admit it is a stunning loco. I do like Gresley in this blue, and I have one of my own that I painted up some time ago. The box on this was very tight. The plastic clamshell was wedged in the foam, but when I eventually unboxed the model you can see it's in very good condition. Couple of little paint chips on the black, but that's not uncommon with these metal bodied A4s. The front coupling is also blue tacked in, so I'll sort that out for Jack as well. Now putting it on the track, he's dead right. This is running loose on its own accord. And then wheels should be locked as it's loco drive. So we've definitely got a major issue inside this model. It's either a cracked gear or something or other. And putting the 9-volt battery to the track, the loco doesn't actually seem to be making any noise, as if the motor's not working. So let's open this up and investigate what's wrong. To remove the body shell, you have to undo the screw that's underneath the smoke box door. And on this particular A4, you have to undo the speedometer drive from one side of the engine and the mechanical lubricator from the other. So using a 2.5mm hex nut driver, I removed the crank pins that then release this detail. Without doing this, the chassis will not come off and you risk breaking it. However, on this side with the lubricator, the actual crank pin housing had pushed into the wheel and the hex nut driver wouldn't grab the crank pin, so I had to resort to turning it with my tweezer nose pliers until it started to loosen. I don't know if that's something that Jack did or whether it was done when it was sent back to Hornby, but it had been pushed in too far. But eventually it loosened and then I could just gently undo it. And this will release all these linkages and the body shell comes off. Now that entire body shell is die cast. I'll come back to that later. But here's the chassis. The chassis is very simple setup. Very, very similar, if not exactly the same to all the other A4s I have in my collection. And removing the gearbox cover, it becomes apparent that the motor isn't engaged properly. The motor is sitting far too high, allowing the gear train to turn without engaging the motor. Now Jack did say that he took the base keeper plate off this model in the past, but that wouldn't account for why the motor is sticking upwards. Slight adjustment of the motor then locks the wheels into place. So I'm not sure if this is a design flaw or whether something else is going on here. But I loosen the motor retainer with the screw underneath the Katasi truck and lift the motor out just gently so that I can get to the gear train. Checking the double idler gear, there's no split gears here. And then removing the intermediate gear. This is fine as well. Now I just was checking these obviously because it was freewheeling. But I'm just now going to put it on a bit of track. And Jack said this was an intermittent runner. So I'm going to put it on the track, connect it to its tender with that push fit connection, which I must admit I'm not keen on. And then I'm going to power it up and see if the motor works okay. Which it does, it works absolutely fine. The motor's spinning. So I'm not sure if the motor was stuck or what was going on, but something was amiss. And the chassis is very free rolling. So I don't think there's any issues in regard to that respect. I just don't think it'd been put back together correctly. So I put the intermediate gear back in, followed by the idler gear. I have cleaned this up, got rid of the excess lubrication. And as a result, I'm going to add a small amount of oil onto the gear axles that sit in the die-cast chassis, just so that they spin freely and are correctly lubricated. And a small amount of white grease is placed on the drivetrain. And then I'm going to re-engage the motor. Now the front of the motor has a lip on it behind the flywheel, behind the worm gear, sorry. And that sits in in a cutout in the die-cast chassis, and I just can only assume, as you saw there, it moves slightly backwards and forwards. So if it's not engaged and screwed down correctly, it will disengage itself from the drivetrain, which is a bit of a bad design because I've not experienced that on any of my own A4s. Looking at the tender quickly, one of the axles has got a load of fluff and detritus wrapped around the axle, so I'm going to remove that. Look at that, look. That's disgusting. But overall, it's generally clean. I do clean all the tender wheels and loco wheels, but then I connect the two together and I put them on the rollers because I want to make sure this is running correctly. And it's only been running a matter of seconds when you'll notice here, a blink and you'll miss it, there is a puff of white smoke. Now that has come out of the firebox flicker, which Jack said didn't work. It only worked in reverse, and you can see it there. It was one of the little resistors or whatever they are on the circuit board of the firebox flicker had blown. And it was only when I looked at this in a minute and took it apart that there are two sticky insulation pads on the back of the firebox flicker. The one that covered the orange wires was missing and had holes in it, allowing it to come into contact with the metal retainer and possibly the chassis, which is why I believe it blew. Now, in Jack's initial email, he said it was running and there was a popping noise and white smoke, and it was, I can only assume it was this small PCB shorting itself out on the chassis. Again, I'm not sure if this was done when Hornby repaired it or whether it's a design flaw. While the loco was on the rollers, I cleaned the loco wheels. They weren't very dirty. But one other problem I found was the glazing unit for the tender corridor walkway was in backwards. That rim should be on the inside. There should be no frame on the outside of that tender. So I'm going to push that glazing out and glue it back in the right way. I think that might be another factory error. It's not looking good on Hornby's part at this point, is it? So I ordered a new firebox flicker unit, and a couple of days later it turned up from Peter's Spares. Now I am going to solder this off camera because it's quite a fiddly job. But here's the new one. And it is a case of there are two wires soldered to the two tabs. So it should be relatively simple. But looking at it, there is a lack of insulation on the back of some of it. And it's held in place with a metal frame, which doesn't help because it's metal that's screwed into the chassis plate itself. So any current or short circuit is going to go straight through that PCB, which it looks like it has done. So I'm just removing what's left of that sticky pad that counts as insulation. And it's a pretty poor setup, to be honest. It's not very well insulated. So I'm going to have to make sure when I replace it, I wrap this in good quality tape. And this is the old one, when I was taking it off, you can see here, these two resistors or whatever they are, have blown. They've got a brown sticky residue and a hole in one of them. So that's the part there the white smoke came out of. Now, if I fit the new part and it does the same, then obviously we've got a more serious electrical issue. But I'm happy to report that when I replace this, and you can see I've covered the top of it with insulation tape, and it is now working in both directions. It works absolutely fine. So I'm going to refit the body, and that is the opposite of how we took it off. You engage the clip underneath the foot plate, replace the retaining screw in the smoke box, and then put the mechanical lubricator and speedo back on. And here we have Gresley all rebuilt and running fine, being bench tested. Now, I did run this on the rollers quite extensively to make sure everything was good, and I never came across any problems whatsoever. So it does look nice in this Express Passenger Blue livery, but if I'm totally honest, I cannot see, personally, any upgrade having a metal body to this model than the plastic ones that I've got. It is obviously it's a lot heavier, but detail-wise, when you stand them side by side, I cannot really see the benefit of Hornby investing in die-cast tooling for the A4. My personal opinion, but it's a stunning model nonetheless. If you've got an engine or anything that needs fixing, repairing, DCC fitting, or even repainting or weathering, email me at dansmodelrailways@gmail.com and have a look at getting it sent over, and who knows, it may even feature in an episode all of its own. I'll leave you now with some shots of Jack's Nigel Gresley running around the layout. I've got my own mallard running in the opposite direction. And I'd like to thank you all for watching Trash to Track. Please like, share and subscribe, and I will catch you guys in the next video. Bye for now.